What's going on, and welcome into your casual gaming news conversation for this week. I'm Nick, that's Connor. This is your weekly gaming news podcast from Co-op 64. Connor, we're so back. How are you doing, big dog? How are you doing on the Saturday?
Feeling all right after spending 12 hours in the airport with you yesterday, but we made it back. 2 a.m. It's noon right now. We're shooting a podcast. We're back in the setup. Full steam ahead towards Extra Life. Good to be back talking about games with you. How are we feeling, Nick?
Feeling great. Got a run in this morning. I'm thankful that I was able to get on my feet after sitting down in that airport all day long. But it was a good day yesterday. I think across the board, we got some Donkey Kong in. So it's hard to say it's a bad day when you're playing Donkey Kong Bonanza. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I think I played for like 6 to 8 hours yesterday.
I was around 7 hours yesterday. Yeah. So definitely made some major headway. We got to beat that today, man. Yeah. Are you excited to play more of it tonight?
I've heard that the finale is legendary. So I'm very excited to see if it lives up to that hype.
I'm just excited to talk about this game with you on Sunday, full all-in review, because you've been asking me questions, and I've been keeping some cards close to my chest. It feels like I'm giving you little hints here and there, but like I don't think you know what I'm going to score at this game like at all at this point.
I've changed a little bit over the last few sessions on where I'm at with it.
Okay, exciting and interesting. But other than that, how are you doing post vacation? You excited to be back, getting after it, having some fun?
Yeah, I'm excited to play the Switch 2 docked on my nice TV and see this Donkey Kong game blown up on the big screen. And I'm excited to see my cats. I was very excited to get through the door last night and say hi to all of them. And then I spent this entire morning just kind of giving all of them pets and enjoying just being around them and get settled back in. Every single time we get back from vacation, especially with our family, I feel like I need a vacation from the vacation. And it's nice to come back on a Friday night, have Saturday, Sunday, only have to shoot content during that, which is just super fun, and then go play some games and hang out and recharge before going back to work.
Speaking of the content, housekeeping for you, we have a Patreon. You can get this show 3 days early. You can get the Casual Gaming Conversation 3 days early, and you can get a bonus episode of the Casual Gaming Conversation each and every week. The one that's going up this week is a mailbag episode that Connor and I shot before vacation. Shout out to everyone that submitted questions. Very excited for that episode to get posted. And then the Death Stranding 2 Spoilercast just got posted, and you can find a bunch of content already on the Patreon, about 20 plus hours of content. It's very, very exciting. Go check it out. It's a blast. And then at higher tiers, you can get Recollection Retro. The GameCube episode just went out. A little switcheroo from the schedule when I was like pre-posting things. Those 2 dates got flipped. So it's TikToks this upcoming week, or that just got posted today. And then Recollecting went up. We have a fun little thing in store for next week. So we're not doubling up on TikToks in a row. It's going to be a little fun video. And then we'll get back to the Co-op 64 podcast. Just a little bit of Patreon scheduling for you. And then you can also get the Co-op 64 podcast, our conversational podcast, once a month, and exclusive TikToks. Also, at the highest tier, you can get your name read at the end of each and every podcast we do here at Co-op 64, and you can write in a topic that can potentially be read as the fourth chair topic on the Co-op 64 podcast. Before we get into Twitch streams, if you're watching this and it is on Monday, go and check out the YouTube page where we will have posted the live town hall that we are doing that will have a bunch of updates for Co-op 64 for the rest of the year. We just want to get back to say, hey, this is a check-in point. This is where we're at with our content promises. This is some fun, small announcements. Extra Life is coming up. What's the date on that? What's the plan for that? All that type of announcements. If you're in on stuff like that with Co-op 64, especially on the streaming side of things, go check that out. And on the TikTok side of things, if you love what we do over on TikTok, be sure to check out the town hall. If you don't catch it live, we're going to stream it later today or tomorrow. We're just figuring that out on our end. But if you're watching this over on YouTube on Monday or Spotify, go to YouTube, check it out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Twitch streams, we're back. Full force, full tilt. Get Brady and his Expedition 33 crap out of here, Connor.
We're 5 minutes in. We've high-fived twice.
Make it a third time, big dog. Let's go. We're so back. It feels great to be back. For Monday stream, we're going to do a fun little one-off stream. We're going to play some Peak. Game is taking over the world. We want to go and hang out. Me, Connor, and Brady.
A little late to the party on this one.
Yeah, a little late, but we're also, scheduling-wise, it was like, okay, now we are not playing Pokemon. week after week after week after week, we can go and do a quick little one-off of a highly popular game and a highly requested game for us to stream. So we're going to be playing Peak on Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. Your boy, we're getting wet, Connor. Mario Sunshine time. I'm keeping the platform rolling after Donkey Kong Bonanza. You're not going to want to miss it. It's going to be a bunch of fun. You're going to want to be there Tuesday for me beginning Mario Sunshine.
He allegedly hates this game, so enjoy his suffering, or maybe he'll come around.
Maybe I'll come around. Connor, I go into everything I do in life with a little bit of optimism. I assume that it's going to be short-lived optimism for Mario Sunshine, but as of right now, I'm excited to hang out in the chat, have a good time, and get after it. Wednesday, one of the streams that I will be tuning into every single week, because I cannot believe it is finally happening. Connor, what are you beginning?
What a thrill. Metal Gear Solid 3, baby. It's going to be fun. I've been putting this off for a very long time. Love Metal Gear Solid 1, one of my favorite games of all time. Really enjoyed 2. So finally getting around to 3, and we're doing it on stream with all of you. So
yeah, it's going to be a great little appetizer too before Delta comes out later this year.
Right.
And then also...
It's going to be leading right into Delta.
I'm just going to toss this one out there. Depending on when you beat this game, you're able to cash in for the belt.
Yeah.
You're able to come in, sign the contract, and we will figure out a game. We need to get a list. You, me, and Brady, we need to sit down, and we need to get a list of like 50 games that we all agree are challenge-worthy games. Get in the comments for this video and let us know games that are good 50-50 shots between me and the team. Because that's what we're looking for. Or even 60-40. It just can't be Valorant. It can't be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
I'm going to start practicing them in secret, so I'm ready to go.
Connor, if you were able to just out of the woodwork beat me in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I would lose my mind. But a lot of games now, like I would say a good majority of the games we play are 50-50s. Things like Halo and Call of Duty, I think, are total crapshoots between us.
Yeah.
So yeah, get in the comments, let us know what's up there. So yeah, super fun week of streaming, super fun week of just getting back into the swing of things. But I do want to shout this out because we're coming up on it. The co-op-a-thon is happening August 7th, 8th, 9th, I believe are those dates, or 8th, 9th, 10th, actually, for the co-op-a-thon. Me, Connor, Brady, 3 straight days of co-op gaming, beating 3 co-op games in 3 sittings. It will be amazing. Me and Connor kick it off with playing Brothers. Brady and Connor will play Lego Star Wars on Sunday, and then me and Brady will finish the fight playing Halo 3 on a Saturday marathon stream, having fun with y'all. It's going to be a blast. It's going to be so much fun. I just want to shout that out there just because I'm excited about it. Join the Discord, over 2,500 members there, hanging out, talking about games. We're going to be talking about SummerSlam. Leading into that, we're going to be talking about Donkey Kong, Death Stranding, and what's the next game that you're excited about? Is it?
I guess it would be
Lost Aside, Delta?
Yeah, Lost Aside, Delta, and then
Mafia the Old Country?
4. I don't know if I'm excited for Mafia the Old Country. That's going to be one of the situations where if we get a review copy, maybe I'll check it out. Or if it reviews very well and I hear a lot of good word of mouth, then I'll hop in.
This is Brady's second most anticipated game, he claims. I would love to, even if we don't get a copy or anything like that, and we just need to buy the game, I think, or like get out there and like get a quick review around. The only reason I mentioned
the review copy is that it would like allow me time to play it.
Because right now we are very strapped on time. The town hall will go and discuss more of where our time is being allocated right now and everything. But like, we are in a spot where I would love to, if we are able to, like, that game comes out, I believe, August 8th. I would love the opportunity to sit down with Brady. I know there's the co-op-a-thon, but like beat that in a weekend and have that be bonus pod for the week or something like that. Because I'm excited about it. I know Brady's excited about it. But yeah, go and get excited about that. Talk about Mafia the Old Country with us in the Discord. Join in the description down below. Merch, coop64store.com. Check some merch out. Review us over on Apple Podcasts. Say a nice thing. It helps the podcast grow. And the comment section, if we mess something up on the show, let us know. I got it, Connor. Yeah. I got it. On the last episode, we did not have the technology in front of us to be able to look something up. And you guys got in the comments, you let us know that Miyazaki is indeed directing the Dust Bloods and how exciting that is.
And that a lot of people pointed out that Armored Core 7 could be on the table for FromSoft's next game that is potentially coming sooner than later, coming next year. If I were to place a bet, I think that's what I would put my money on.
Have you not heard about the Dark Souls 3 remastered theory?
Ooh.
That's what a lot of people, the lettering works out in a way that for the code name for it, that people are pointing towards Dark Souls as a option.
Why not Dark Souls 2?
I wonder why, Connor. Well, it's still the highest rated Dark Souls game on Metacritic.
There
People
are
sleep
people
on
that love Dark Souls
Yeah.
too, and I think that just completely ignoring it would kind of be silly.
100%. But you can go and correct us when inevitably we probably will mess something up during the show. Let us know in the comments down below what we messed up so we can go and set the record straight.
Also, Dark Souls 3 doesn't need a remaster.
Yeah, probably not. What 2016, 17?
It looks great. It looks so good.
2017, 18?
2016?
Was
2016, because I was playing it in my
it came out the
freshman...
same year as Bloodborne?
No, that was 15.
Bloodborne was 15. Okay.
15,
Okay.
I know that because I was playing Bloodborne in our family's home. So I was in high school, and then I was playing Dark Souls 3 in my
college.
freshman dorm in college. Yep.
Nice. Now hopping into the show proper headlines. Sony wants to bring PlayStation games, quote, beyond PlayStation hardware, end quote, including to Xbox. This is Mike Straw at Insider Gaming. Quote, Sony is hiring for a new position that will help expand PlayStation's reach, quote, beyond PlayStation hardware, end quote. According to a job posting, Sony is working to bring PlayStation games to platforms such as Steam, Epic Games Store, Nintendo, mobile, and yes, even Xbox, end quote. Connor, this has been being tossed around the internet. I think that somebody tagged us in the Discord being like, oh, I'm excited to see the boys react to this one. I think that the question is pretty clear at this point. Do you expect PlayStation first party, and I'll even toss out single player games, to go to Xbox in the near future?
I think that it would be stupid for them not to at least explore this option after trying to expand their base through live service game after live service game and failing over and over again. They need to see other growth opportunities, and they've obviously been experimenting with that with stuff like Lego Horizon on Nintendo Switch, and then all these games coming over to PC to varying degrees of success. I think they're probably looking at Xbox as kind of a weak competitor, and releasing their games over there doesn't necessarily hurt the PlayStation 5 brand too much in a way that would prevent people from being interested in buying a PS5. With that being said, you and I are playing Donkey Kong Bonanza right now, and I enjoyed Mario Kart World and was glad I had a Switch 2 to play that, but like I wasn't like, you need to go out and get a Switch 2 because you can only play Mario Kart World on this platform. Now that we're playing Donkey Kong Bonanza, it's like I am so happy that I have a Switch 2 and I'm spending all this time with it, spending stretches of 5 hours at a time on this platform and being like, damn, I can only play this here. I'm really glad that I have a Switch 2, and removing that exclusivity factor from PlayStation, I think hurts the overall brand. Picking up a PS5 on day one and playing Demon's Souls, it's like, I'm so glad I have this because I can only play this here, and it makes me feel like I'm getting a lot of value out of the console that I'm playing on. So I think that when it comes to being consumer friendly, this is obviously a great thing. This getting games out to more people is objectively good. Getting a bigger player base on a lot of these games that have been locked to PlayStation, and let the Xbox community and let the Nintendo community enjoy them would be pretty cool and good for consumers. But I think that from a business sense, it's very confusing to me, because what are you going to do? Release God of War on Xbox and be in a similar situation to Final Fantasy 16 where it sold 70,000 copies on that platform? Is that really worth the development time to put out a game that's not going to be on Game Pass, which is where most people who play on Xbox seemingly go to experience games at this point? That, like, is it really worth it? I don't know. They're obviously probably seeing something that we're not, and have the numbers that say that this is at least worth exploring. And obviously Xbox is in a weaker state right now, having not sold a ton of Xbox Series X's and S's. So that might factor in. But yeah, I don't think this is happening anytime soon, but I do not think it's shocking that they're at least thinking about it. And I am curious to see if timed exclusivity is a big part of their strategy. We've talked about this with Xbox in the past, that like, I want to play these games on day one. And when I look at Final Fantasy 16, I'm like, that's a PlayStation 5 game. And just because it's come to PC at this point doesn't mean that it's not a PS5 game in my brain. It's like, that's where it was only available at launch for a year plus. And I'm going to associate that game with that console. So if that's the case with future PlayStation games that come to Xbox, I think that that's okay. And I think that would be a fine strategy when you've kind of gotten your audience on PlayStation and you're just kind of selling a few copies here and there. Go get a bigger swath of people to purchase the game by releasing on Xbox and Nintendo Switch. And now with Nintendo Switch being as powerful as it is and being able to run games like Cyberpunk, it's like you have a whole new massive base that could potentially be interested in your games that otherwise would not have access to them. And I think that they don't cross over that often, where people like me have a PS5 and a Switch 2, that you're not really kind of swallowing or taking the wind out of the sails of either of those platforms. So
yeah, I do think that it's interesting to like imagine what if Spider-Man in like 3 years was on Nintendo Switch 2, where there's 50 million Switch 2s out in the wild at that point or something like that, and be like, oh dude, that game would sell gangbusters. But also, there's a reason that people bought a PS4 and a PS5 for Spider-Man 2, and there's a reason people bought the plates for the PS5 for Spider-Man. You know, like people are Spider-Man fans, so they go and buy the console where they can only play Spider-Man, in the same way that people are Mario fans, so they go and pick up a Nintendo console. Same way, for a long time, people were Halo fans, and they would go and pick up an Xbox. I do think that this headline has caught a little bit too much wind in its sails, where it's like, this is a job posting. I promise you that there are higher ups at Sony that are already talking about this job and doing this job to some level of exploring what would that look like constantly. I just think that those conversations thus far have been very short conversations of the reason people buy our console and the reason that we are able to somewhat keep pace with the PS4, which sold gangbusters, even though we had 2 years where we had not enough stock and it was tough to find a PS5 on the shelf, is due to the fact that they have the games that people want to play and exclusivity. I do think that if they are looking for a quick fix to help a bottom line number, like a 2026, 2025, 26, 2027 type number, and be like, cool, we can go put a game like Spider-Man over on Xbox and it will sell a couple million, and that's helps our bottom line in a major way. That makes sense. But it totally in the long run is going to hurt. You need people to buy. They are a console company. Xbox wants their games everywhere. They want play anywhere. That is their business model. And it is working to, depending on who you talk to, varying degrees, right? But with PlayStation, I think that it's clear as day that their formula, the reason that people get excited to have a PS5 in their home, is they want to play the next Spider-Man game. They want to play Ghost of Yotei. They want to play God of War. They want to play The Last of Us. Those types of games are the guaranteed sit-down blockbuster experiences that you pick up a PS5 for. If you do not have exclusivity, then there's not as much of a reason to buy your console. If I were to have this position, it would be the easiest job ever. I would say, okay, my job is to figure out how to expand us beyond. Well, we need to make sure that our games are valuable, because as Jim Ryan said at the start of the 2020 Future of Gaming Showcase, it's all about the games. All that matters on our platforms is the games. And if our games are everywhere else, yes, extremely consumer friendly, but it's not good business for PlayStation and the future of that company. And if I'm a Sony higher up, further into the article, that this person would be going and responding directly to Sony's vice president, I would just go and be like answering emails being like, yep, the plan still is to stay the course, which is exclusivity. That is what has gotten them this far. That is the reason they have and continue to dominate the hardcore gaming console market. Like there's not a reason right now that I would recommend somebody to pick up an Xbox unless you love console gaming and you love the idea of Game Pass, and you will like, I'm gonna play 10 games every year, and you tell me the games that you're gonna play, not just like this like romanticized version of Game Pass where you're like, which I think we all had initially when that came out, being like, oh, I'm gonna play games all the time, and then you play a couple games and then you just get charged every month, and that's just sort of what happens. But if you're someone that's like Expedition 33, Blueprints, Oblivion Remastered, like I'm gonna play all those in a month, it's like, yeah, Game Pass is a great deal. Go pick up that console if you want that. Other than that, there really isn't a reason compared to, dude, Ghost of Yotei later this year? Are you freaking kidding me? Like, you can only play that on a PlayStation 5 console day one. That's where the sales is. That's where the money is. That's where the numbers are. I think that this, or like, it makes sense. It's deserving of a headline. It's very interesting. I just don't see this gaining traction in a real way.
Do you think it's more likely that they explore Switch than Xbox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'd be foolish not to explore Switch because we're talking about such a large player base that will exist. I assume by 2027, it will be a very expanded player base where it isn't just like, okay, we have the people that are only playing Animal Crossing and Donkey Kong. By 2026, by the end of the year, most likely, unless things change, unless this game slips, people that are PS5 gamers that are hardcore, I want Elden Ring, they're going to pick it up for the Dust Bloods. That's when the conversation needs to come in and be like, that audience is over there. When we put out Bloodborne Remastered, maybe we go and toss it over on Switch too as a follow-up. And that it can sell. There's such a large difference between it can sell a couple 100,000 copies over on Xbox, and it can sell 3 to 4 more million copies over on a Switch 2 base, which I think that's where this article mainly comes into play, where it's like, yeah, this is a strategy for platforms such as Steam, Xbox Game Store, Nintendo, and mobile, and Xbox. It's like, heads up, they're already doing that. Their games are on all those platforms. I think that they're just expanding to the places that they most likely should expand, which is, if I'm doing this job, I'm saying, yeah, we need exclusivity. We need to make sure that timed exclusivity, especially, but let's go and toss a couple of our IPs elsewhere to make sure that when God of War TV show comes out, people are watching that show because they played it on their PC a year or two down the line and the production of the TV show took longer, you know? Anything else here that you want to discuss, or are you ready to move on to story number 2, some more Microsoft action? Headline, Microsoft has reversed plans to charge $80 for The Outer Worlds 2. This is Andy Robinson at VGC. Quote, when the Obsidian sequel releases on October 29th, it will now cost $70, Microsoft announced on Wednesday. Last month, Xbox said The Outer Worlds 2 would be its first $80 title as part of a broader increase in game prices. An Xbox spokesperson said, quote, we're focused on bringing players incredible worlds to explore and will keep our full price holiday release, including The Outer Worlds 2, at $69.99 in line with current market conditions. End quote. When you first saw this one, Connor, where did your mind go? Thank God? Or was it like, really? Where was your headspace when this article dropped?
I think that the pre-orders were just really soft, and they felt that they needed to get more excitement for this game, and lowering the price can do that, and get more people in on day one, and get more interest. I think that this game needs really positive word of mouth, and if you're not playing it on Game Pass and you're playing it on PlayStation, you need that barrier to entry at $80 is going to prevent more people from playing it, and I think that that's what you need for this game to succeed is a good base on day one. This game needs to be great, and then they need to go positively talk about it to other people, because that's what I felt like happened with The Outer Worlds 1, where like it was good to great for a lot of people, and then I just kept hearing people talk about it and how much they were enjoying it, and that got me interested in checking it out. And I'm honestly pretty surprised that we're getting a sequel to this game, and I think they need to run the same playbook at this point. And at $80, I think that barrier to entry for a lot of people to just check something out is a really difficult pill to swallow.
I mean, we're talking about a game that is coming out in the same month on PlayStation 5 as Ghost of Yotei, and it costs $10 more.
Yeah.
You can't do that. Like, straight up, that is asking one of the biggest console market bases to go and spend $10 more than something that is made by like a team that we have full faith is going to provide a banger. I do want to say The Outer Worlds 1, at the end of the day, one thing you cannot take away from it, it is Game of the Year nominated Outer Worlds 1. This game was awesome at the time. Like, it was very, very well received critically in a way that it did get a GOTY nom, which is immensely impressive.
85?
Yeah, I think it's around like an 80, maybe 86 or something. But yeah, like it still did well enough to go and be like, hey, end of the year, we want to go and recognize and respect the talent and work that was put into a title like this. So I believe that The Outer Worlds 2 will be a quality game. I'm not expecting 90s from it, but I'm expecting it to be another one of those types of games that you and I sit on the table and we try to figure out where it is between an 8 and a 9. And we have that discussion because it is immensely polished and the dialogue is so good. And I think the steps that they are making towards in combat looks really interesting. So like, I have faith in this game in a very major and real way. I do think that they were legitimately being like, all right, we're just going to set you out to die, though, with an $80 price tag because you can't put it out. I think that they're looking at it, this game especially, being like, this makes sense for Game Pass. Let's put it out there for $80. And then, hey, PlayStation players, come and play it on your PC on Game Pass. Yeah, that makes complete sense. But they might realize, oh, shoot, that PlayStation player base is quite large. And we cannot have a game come out 3 weeks later after Ghost of Yote and be like, all right, door 1, door 2, you just got your paycheck. Which one are you picking up? It's like, yeah, I'm not going to spend more on a game that potentially is more of a question mark compared to what we expect from Ghost of Yote after that state of play, after just knowing how talented Sucker Punch is, not taking anything away from what Obsidian and this team has done in the past couple years. We talked a little bit about this on the cruise. Obsidian is their flagship studio at this point. They are the studio that is producing game after game, year after year. They're producing 3 games with 3 IPs is so impressive this year with Avowed and Grounded 2 and The Outer Worlds 2. Like, I don't want, as a studio higher up or somebody that's overlooking this studio, to knock out their confidence by looking at poor sales numbers and say, hey, the game wasn't good enough. I think that this game could be freaking unbelievable. Not like, let's just say it's a 90 on Metacritic. It blows the doors off of what we expect from this game. At $80, it's still a hard sell. It's a really tough pill to swallow, pricing that, especially when currently the market is at $70. My next question to you is, do you think that Xbox fully believed that everyone else was going to follow suit and they were just like, hey, we're just going to like try to like get in the current of $80 because Nintendo went first, we'll be second, and then Borderlands 4 might be $80, and let's catch the wave of everything's gonna be $80. And when that didn't happen, they had the oh shoot moment and decided to reel it back in.
Yeah, I think that could play a part in this for sure. I think that they probably just saw the numbers on their end and were like, the audience has spoken. We cannot do this. And we thought that other publishers were going to follow suit here, and that didn't happen. And now we're just kind of the odd man out with our $80 game alongside Mario Kart World, which most people ended up getting in the bundle anyways. So like that has become kind of less of a factor. And then you have Donkey Kong Bonanza at $70. And then you have, like you said, Ghost of Yote at $70. Like all of our competitors are still releasing games at $70. Why Outer Worlds 2? Are we going to start this $80 trend for the Xbox brand? It's just not a good look. And I do think that there is something to be said about other publishers not following along with them, making them kind of look specifically bad alongside Nintendo with their $180 game.
Yeah. And I think that we said with Mario Kart World, you can kind of get away with it with the 2 different aspects of, one, it's the Mario Kart game you're going to play for 100 hours. You're going to be playing for 10 years probably. Like this is a forever type game compared to Outer Worlds 2, a story game that you're going to finish up in probably 2 weeks and then put down and not get back to it.
It also helps that you have Donkey Kong at $70 right around the corner, so you know that like this isn't going to be a universal thing, whereas Xbox is being like, this is what it's going to be now.
Yeah.
So
I also want to toss out, I was listening back to our episode to make sure, I threw it on to check the comments to see if we got anything wrong, as I always do. Just a reminder, hop in the comment section and let us know if we get anything wrong to this episode. We will call it out on the next episode at the start. But I know we get things wrong every now and then. I freaking dialed in. We don't have the news story. I dialed in. You brought up the $50 bundle. I was like, there's a good chance we get a Pokemon like special edition for holiday season and everything, and then the Pokemon Presents comes out and it's a $50 bundle in for Pokemon's Legends E3A. I'm just saying, call that shit. I was on one, feeling really good about myself. It turned my mood around a little bit as I was setting up for today's content shoot. Anything else with the Outer Worlds 2 before we hop into a very fun one?
Nope.
All right, I love it. Let's move on to another headline. The first trailer for Battlefield 6 is now out. This is Jordan Miller at VGC. Quote, EA has revealed the first trailer for Battlefield 6 and has confirmed that it will hold an event next week to show off the game's multiplayer. The trailer, which you can view below, shows off, quote, Pax Armada, a private military corporation bankrolled by former NATO states whose agenda threatens to throw the world into global conflict, end quote. The full multiplayer reveal for the game will take place on July 31st, end quote. Connor, we both watched the trailer. Mm-hmm. We know what's happened. Battlefield 6, it's back, baby. When you watch the trailer, little peel behind the curtain, you said, that was more Battlefield, baby. How do you feel about Battlefield 6? And do you expect this game to succeed in the current marketplace that we are entering with BO7 down the pipeline and the current multiplayer experience with Fortnite, Apex, and a bunch of other competitors?
If it is going to succeed, it needs to do one thing. It needs to be extremely polished. You cannot have another Battlefield 5/Battlefield 2042 situation where those games were super buggy. And this has been going back since like Battlefield 4, where there's just like issues at launch and people are upset with the state of the game right out of the gate. You cannot have that for a multiplayer game that's trying to garner an audience where everybody's just mad about how broken the game is. Like, the bones might be really fun for these games, and that was the case for like Battlefield 4, but like a lot of the conversation was about how buggy it was.
Yeah.
And for Battlefield 6 to succeed, I think you need to have a really polished experience, and you need to do something to differentiate yourself from your competitors. And that's always been these like bigger, large scale battles in Battlefield. But I just don't know if that's enough at this point to not be kind of tired, because we've gotten a lot of these games from this franchise at this point that I don't really need to do that again. Like, I'm not really itching to hop into a big battle with tanks and planes and everything, because I did that in Battlefield 3 and 4. And then I played Battlefield 1, which I thought was great. And with like the horses and like the World War I weapons, like that was really cool. That's my favorite Battlefield. But I feel like I've gotten that experience already. So I don't know what Battlefield 6 is going to do to differentiate itself from the rest of the series and differentiate itself from its competitors. When I look at this trailer, I'm like, that's more Battlefield, but it's also the campaign, so I don't know like how that's going to manifest in the multiplayer. But we talked a few weeks ago that they want to do 100 million players. Like, that's not going to happen. So if that's the bar for success, it's not going to succeed. But is it going to make waves? I think that's possible if this game comes out and is really great and really polished at launch. That launch is so important for a game that's going to charge you an entry fee, especially. It's like, it's not like it's free and it's broken. And it's like, well, you didn't really lose anything. Like, it kind of gets a bit of a pass when there's bugs for a free-to-play game. But like for a $60 game, $70 game, it's like, you need to be polished and you need to be a solid multiplayer experience when you're going up against your contemporaries of Call of Duty and even something like Fortnite and Apex Legends now that are taking up that multiplayer space that are free to play. So yeah.
I think that you make a great point. This game needs to be polished. I think that this game, and this is so hard to capture, obviously even discuss with like what we do. I think that for this game to succeed, it needs to become a viral hit. Like, this game needs to take over in a major way the TikTok airwaves, the Twitch airwaves. It needs a moment. Like,
that happened with Battlefield 1.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's possible, but I'm saying that it's obviously a little bit harder now where there are so many games that are just constantly capturing people's attention. Like, we just discussed that we're streaming Peak this week, and that has a moment in the sun. There are those quick one weekend type experiences.
I don't think I saw a single video of Battlefield 2042.
That's what I'm saying.
Not one.
So I think that this game needs to be for at least a couple weeks, and it really is going to depend on when it comes out. I don't know the release date. We have no idea when that is. Oh, it needs to get out of October, though. This needs to be a September game in my mind.
Isn't it rumored to be October?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that you cannot compete not only with, we came out a week before Black Ops 6, let's go. It's a different type of landscape now where there's so many people that are playing more games and different types of games than ever before. You can't have this come out a week after Ghost or a week before Ninja Gaiden 4 or 2 weeks before The Outer Worlds 2 or right next to Pokemon Legends Zaw. Like, we've said it, October's effed, right? Like, you cannot release in October right now, in my opinion.
This would be a great February game or something.
This game would slap in January, right? Like, if this came out in January this year, oh my gosh, this would be such an awesome game. But it needs to go and capture the virality moment and really have a moment in the sun on TikTok and on Twitch. If it does not do that, the chance of that 100 million players, right, which is
ridiculous,
a ridiculous number, it needs to be most likely like one of the most viral games of all time. And for that number to exist, but for it even to hit 20 million, it needs to be extremely viral. It needs to have the clips. It needs to have the crazy moments that we expect from Battlefield, because those moments can exist nowadays. We were talking about just like what makes a good stream game the other day. I'm like, if you're on the opposite team and I run a tank through a building and run you over and everything, like there's those types of moments that can exist. It needs to be polished though for those moments to happen, and you want to clip them out and everything. But if you can laugh and you have these bigger content groups playing together, I really think that it's going to work well for this type of game at this point. Other than that, I don't see Battlefield 6 succeeding in a major way. I really don't.
A battle royale change anything for them?
Yes. Because it helps with the virality aspect of it. That is the only part.
We know there has been battle royales in Battlefield.
Yeah.
But I think they need to go all in on that experience and like kind of have it at launch.
Dude, 1,000 players. Find a way. I don't even know like what actually, but like go past that 100 player barrier somehow, because you're big field battle. You are Battlefield. Find a way to like make it like, all right, 200 person battle, and then it gets cut down to 100 after like you kill the captain or whatever, and then all of a sudden the 100 are in like find a way to make this have a hook that is so damn good that people cannot refuse to play it. You have to notice it. And that, in my opinion, like when I talk about virality of what this game needs and everything, that's how you go and do that. You need a hook that literally everyone is talking about it. And it needs to be not just the people that really like Battlefield, and it needs to not just be the people that buy Call of Duty every year. You need to find a way to get you, me, and Brady in on it. I like multiplayer games a lot.
Yeah.
Like I will play this for a weekend at least, and I'll probably put in, even if it's remotely good to great, I will be listening to a podcast, playing Battlefield, having a great time. I just need to find a way for this game to turn into what BO6 was for me last year, where I put 80 hours in because it's so polished and so fun and so
right. Good. I've done the Battlefield thing so many times at this point. I just don't know what they can do to change the formula that much and still be Battlefield.
I agree. And that's why I'm trying to say, like, I don't know what it is. And this is always the hard thing of, if they had the answers, everyone would be making that game.
Right.
There's such a hard thing in game development, and this is why we go and shout out the people that create these games that are able to make a magical moment like what we're seeing in Donkey Kong Bonanza right now, or like in a Death Stranding 2, where it's like, holy shit, like I could never even think of that. That's so cool. That's so awesome that we get these experiences. I don't know what it is for Battlefield 6 to take it to that next level, but if it were to be just Battlefield 1 once again, or Battlefield 2042, right?
Yeah.
Once again,
I think
wild name. I just don't expect it to come out, ball out, and be a sustainable product, because it just wasn't last time around. And you could be polished, but the Battlefield formula, it's what you're saying right now. I don't know what they could do to get you in, and they need to get you in if they want to start hitting some of those metrics, because you are a gamer that likes to play multiplayer games and likes the excuse to hop on and play games with me, you, and Brady, and whenever I call up Matt to hop in. Like,
you need the core to come back as well.
Yeah.
And then have that really good word of mouth that like get somebody else to hop in. But you need that audience to be there to be like, pay the $70 to get into this multiplayer experience, because if you don't have your friends playing it, I don't think that a lot of people are going to be willing to put that money down when you have so many free options out there.
All right, I want to go to this story next just because it's more multiplayer fun. Headline: Elden Ring Nightreign's 2-player mode is coming next week. This is Jordan Miller at VGC. Quote, currently the game can be played solo or as a trio. However, now From Software has announced that the game's much requested 2-player mode will be added soon. The new mode will be added as part of patch 1.02, which will be released on July 30th. Additionally, patch 1.02 will include quality of life UI improvements, including more relics filtering options. End quote. Connor, when are you and I hot dropping back into the Nightreign?
It'll definitely be different to play this with 2 people.
Yeah.
I just know that this game is designed for 3. Everything about the way that the Night Lord fights are designed screams 3-player to me. And I kind of said the same thing when it came to solo mode, that like it just does not seem like this game is meant to be played solo. And I can say the same probably for duos. I think it would probably be a better experience, though I think it's just good to have the option.
Yep.
But I think that it might have been smart to just always leave it at 3 and just say, like, this is the way the game is designed. We want people to play it with 3 people. We made these Night Lord bosses for these 3-person scenarios. And we're sticking to our guns on that. But I get it. Enough people complained about this, and they were like, okay, we're gonna put the 2-player mode out and give people more options. So it is consumer friendly. It's good that it's finally happening. I know a lot of people were looking for this and were upset about it at launch. I think this is less important than crossplay.
Oh yeah,
I think that would have been a much better and more important addition to this game. So that's just a separate point, though. But yeah, I'm excited this is finally happening.
Yeah,
for those who are excited about it.
I'm excited for those that are excited about it. I don't think that this gets me back in.
Me neither.
That's the hard part with a headline like this, where it's like, you and I both love Nightreign. There's just so many other games to play right now.
But I want to play the new Night Lord fights really bad. They look really cool.
They're so good. Maybe I still am tweaking what we're playing on Extra Life. Maybe I get some Elden Ring Nightreign in there, and like we find some time.
Yeah.
Because it's so good. You want to know what I thought about? I get back in the apartment. I'm cleaning up around here. I forgot that I played 10 hours of Tony Hawk 2 days before I left here, right, where I just couldn't stop playing Tony Hawk. I saw my Xbox. I was like, what the fuck is my Xbox plugged in right now and not my PS5? And I was like, oh, Game Pass. What was I playing on Game Pass? Tony Hawk. Dude, we gotta sit down. We have to have a serious conversation about this. Will Tony Hawk be in my top 10 games this year?
Yes.
I think so. I think it's going to be one of those bubblers. I think it's going to be around that. I think that the game is great. I think it's like an 8 out of 10. This is my short form to Connor, tee me up. No, I'm kidding. But like, I think that it's just a great game. But dude, I hear Head by Jeff Rosenstock while I'm literally smashing pumpkins with a skateboard. And I'm like, this is the best shit ever. Oh, it's so good. Total non sequitur. I'm just thinking about Extra Life, that we have that scheduled and everything. I'm very excited about that. When it comes back to Nightreign, this is a necessary mode. I think that this game should get a Redux review at this point from a lot of people, where like one of the big issues was solo player sucks to play. Well, we're going to go and make it a little bit more user friendly, give you a grace, I forget, a welding grace, I believe it's called, like in the comments, or a wedding grace, one of those two, that revives you for if you go down and everything. Great, makes sense, makes the game a little bit more fun. They listen to feedback immediately. 2-player mode, that, like, I think some of these changes, like for a lot of the reviews that came out, were the big knocks against this game, right? Where it was like the big one is crossplay, in my opinion, at this point, where it's like, yeah, multiplayer game, you need crossplay at this point. Like, you just got to have it, especially if you're one of those bigger publishers, and you most likely can talk to everyone that has this game out there. Go and make it crossplay. Let's make that happen and everything. But other than that,
voice chat.
Oh yeah, that
yeah.
I don't feel like that's crazy necessary.
It definitely helps with the issue that people are having with their random just like running off.
That's
and like
still gonna happen though.
Yeah.
Hey, get back here, buddy. It just starts running. Like that's what every multiplayer
we were
game
communicating
experience.
a lot in this game, and I think having the ability to at least have those comms with a random person would be very helpful.
It would be helpful, but at the same time, I think that the pin system is so solid in that game that like just going place to place. If you are just dialed in, like you're like, I want to go and succeed in this game and use the pin system and don't say a word, I think you can succeed in this game 100%.
Just trusting that people are going to do that.
No, that's the hard part. You just need 3 people total, and having 3 and not like have to trust 2 other people that are like, we should be doing this. Also, just like understanding that sometimes you're going to call the shots in a random lobby and sometimes you're not. Like, just you do not need to call the shots all the time, and letting other people do that is important and good. All right, the final headline for this week. Weeks before release, Dying Light the Beast has been delayed. This is Andy Robson at VGC. Quote, the spinoff will now release on September 19th instead of August 22nd, the developer announced on Friday. According to Techland, the short delay will allow it to further polish the game. Quote, It has always been our goal to make Dying Light the Beast the best Dying Light game we've ever released. To honor this promise, we've made the decision to move the release date to September 19th, 2025 to allow for extra polishing work, and quote, it said. Moving a bit further into the article, quote, according to Techland, the additional 4 weeks will allow it to fine-tune gameplay elements, look into the clarity of the game's UI, increase the quality of physics, and tweak cutscenes and player animations, end quote. Connor, it's the classic line of a game that's released, it can be, well, is forever bad, but if you delay it, maybe it's eventually good. I just nailed that line. Just nailed it. We're so deep into this podcast. The classic line that
everybody knows
that I just butchered. Stepped up to the plate and did not dominate that one. Get in the comments. Let me know what the line is. Anyways, moving on. Connor, what are you out with Dying Light the Beast?
I'm not very interested in this game. I'm not a huge Dying Light guy. I played the first one and enjoyed it a fair bit. Never checked out the second one. I know that Dying Light has just a really big fan base, though, that shows out for these games. Dying Light 1 sold exceedingly well. I think Dying Light 2 didn't sell as well as the first and didn't review as well as the first, but I imagine that people are still interested in the Dying Light franchise, and this is kind of going back to the roots with the main character from the first one, I think.
You get in the comments. I have no idea.
I know that there's a returning character that people are excited about that is the main character for this. So yeah, and people went hands-on with this and seemed to enjoy it.
Yep.
It's going to be more Dying Light in a more like refined, smaller package, seemingly, and I think that's great. And giving them an extra month to polish things and make sure this is the best game that it can be, I think is great. And hopefully it mitigates crunch and they're not stressed at the deadline. So yeah, all good things here.
A month is normally the polish. Like that's all it means, and this article says that, and that is so good for a game like this, where it's like, yeah, just give it a month to go and make sure that you're delivering what your vision of this game is. I don't know or care necessarily how long you worked on this. Like, add the extra month to make sure that all the hard work you put beforehand is actually going and doing yourself a actual service.
What does that do with release schedule? So, it's right after Borderlands.
Yep.
A week after.
I mean, we can just pull it up for what we have on our calendar.
And then Hell is Us is the 30th?
No, Hell of Us is early September, I believe. September. So just looking at what we got in front of us, this game was in August at some point, I believe. Now it is Borderlands 4 is on the 11th, and then Silent Hill F and Sonic Crossroads is the 25th. And so now
Borderlands 4 is the 12th.
What?
Borderlands 4 is the 12th.
Borderlands 4 is the 11th. Or is it the 12th?
It might be the 12th. I know that because it's coming out on my birthday.
Oh, nice. Happy birthday, buddy. So many high fives. But yeah, so it literally has a pocket.
A good window, yeah.
Yeah, and 2 weeks before you get to go see Otay? I think
it's a better window than what August 22nd would have been.
Yeah, because you were right before Snake Eater and Lost Soul and everything. And so, yeah, I think that this is a solid move. If they said, hey, we're just delaying it due to competition to this spot, I also would have been like, yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I think that this is a win for the people that are developing this game. I think that's a win for what this game kind of needs, which is, because it's a smaller package, my expectation for Dying Light the Beast is one of us, maybe even Brady, picks it up, plays it in 2 days, and reviews it.
In 2 days? How long do you think this game is?
10 hours. Less.
Ooh, no, I don't think that's... I think it's going to be 20.
Really? How long is Dying Light 2?
Well, I guess, like, if you're playing it naturally, I would say it's probably around that 20-hour mark.
20 hours, and then the other one's 20 hours. So it's a smaller game than Dying Light.
I think it's a smaller world, but if you're doing, like, side content and, like, playing the game naturally, I imagine it's in that ballpark, probably.
This started out as a DLC, if I remember properly, and if that's the case, then I could see this being literally 7 to 10 hours. Give me the Miles Morales of the Dying Light version. That's a great question.
$50 is my guess, and I think that would be very smart.
Yeah, well, if it is $50, what's your expectation on that?
I think that would probably reflect in the scope of the game, but I don't think that necessarily means that it's like 8 hours.
$60.
Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, if it's $60, which is still less than your average game at this point. I think that this is probably in that 15-hour ballpark, personally. 15, 20.
Before we go to Patreon names, shout out for watching this episode and everything. And shout out for watching the last one. The comments were very, very nice on the last casual gaming news conversation.
And thank you for waiting a day if you're over on Patreon.
But traveling all day, we didn't want to have to shoehorn in an audio podcast that with the personal.
It doesn't sound as good. It doesn't look as good. It's
so
just a better product.
Yeah. I would be reminisced, or I'd be upset with myself if we did not discuss the fact that most likely we do have a direct this upcoming week.
It is July 26th as we are shooting this. Yeah. We do not know yet, but the word on the street is that it's this week.
I want to maybe start a new tradition here. I got a question, and I want you to get in the comments about actual gaming news. I'm not going to ask you your favorite soda or something. Connor and I had this debate, and I want to hear what your answer is on the last episode. What will the price of the Dust Bloods be? I want to get in the comments. Let us know, because I said 60, you said 40. I'm curious to see what the audience has to say about that. Where are you at hype level for this Nintendo Direct?
I'm just excited to know more about this console that I'm really enjoying right now. I think that we're going to get a lot of updates on things we already know about, though, with Metroid Prime and Kirby. I'm excited to see what Kirby gameplay looks like. And I think we get one more.
Kirby gameplay? Oh, Air Riders. Yeah. I was thinking the DLC for Worlds.
No, I'm very curious to see what scope the Kirby Air Riders game is. Like if this is like a full-fledged big AAA in quotes sequel, or if it's like a smaller experience. And then I'm excited for one big announcement. And like I said last time, I think it's going to be Animal Crossing. So I wouldn't say I'm super stoked, but I'm excited for any Nintendo news right now.
We're going to throw it back to podcasting in 2021. Give me your out there crazy Gnarls Barkley level of crazy prediction. I think Animal Crossing is possible, Give me what?
It's not that crazy, but Super Mario Maker 3.
Yeah, that would be so good. For me, I was thinking can we finally get Sluggers? And I'll do one better. Mario All-Stars 2. 40th anniversary of Mario. Give us a Mario All-Stars package for the Switch 2. Have Mario Galaxy 2 playable on modern hardware.
And what?
I think you can do Odyssey and Galaxy 2 and ship that together.
I don't think that's enough. You could just do Galaxy 2 on its own.
Yeah, maybe. I think the All-Stars branding was so strong for the limited time edition sort of deal. What that game was. How much did it cost? $100 too?
I launched 60.
Yeah. Oh, really? So I think
costs
that
a ton now.
Yeah, honestly, give us Super Mario 64 again, Mario Galaxy 2, and Super Mario Odyssey.
Release it.
Yeah, just give us it one more time. But no, I think that we need to have some level of expectation that there's a chance that there is some sort of Mario announcement in this because it's the 40th anniversary. That is not Mario Kart. And then, the other crazy dart throw would be the new 3D Mario gets announced.
Or Zelda.
Well, I
think it's way too soon. But
I looked at my 2025 predictions this year because I just looked at my 2025 games list, and one of my predictions was we get a new Zelda this year. Still a chance. I still think that there is a chance that we get a smaller Zelda title, but I think that they would prefer to hold that for next year at this point. But you know what we will not hold anymore? The names of our lovely Patreon people that go and support this show and make this show happen. Once again, thank you so much for watching the show, supporting the show. You make this show happen. Amazing members like Sir Shellis,
Blue Moose,
Sunlight Phantom,
Beast Slashing,
Ooh Gracie,
Chuzar,
MG Dunbar,
Mr. Munchies,
Farmer Spud,
Rocket Tater,
No Feed,
Swampy Bits,
Jaxie T,
Sconesy,
Stracken,
Das Scoopy,
Dingleberg Rules,
Hook'em Horns,
Go Nash,
Neutral Sphere,
Easton C,
Stooby Dooby,
We Nuke This Kingdom,
Crispy,
DJ Zach B,
Uli,
Jacob D,
Big Mac,
Metal Nate,
The Patty Cake,
Bear Pog,
Cowboy Jesus,
Yogi,
Damn,
Holden M,
Colin C,
Brock,
Voodoo,
Renee R,
Dr. Pookie Bear,
Alex the Golden,
Andrew H,
Master Diz,
Jesse F,
Badfellow,
Only One Rufus,
oh, we're back, Connor Drifter X1, skirt,
Presto,
Maverick,
Goops,
JMat B3,
Alley Benally,
and Kingdom Hearts Sucks. Thank you so much for watching this show. We'll see you in the next one. Peace out.